Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Monday Night Raw review with us, the British Fist.
Catching.
I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is normal NJ today. Oh, I love normal NJ.
What's up?
And you know why NJ is so happy? Because his boy got to open the show this week. But before we go on to that, make sure you subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this Raw down in that comment section below.
Or you can contact us in the link in the description below.
You're worse than John Laurinaitis, you are, for stalling. At least you didn't botch like him, though. High five!
Oh, yeah!
Indeed. Ka-ching, indeed. WrestleMania 16 review will be out on Wednesday, guys, if you want to check that out in our continuance to run down to WrestleMania 27 and hype up to WrestleMania 28. WrestleMania 16 will be with you guys on Wednesday. As for Raw tonight, though, a couple of things we want to get off our chest before we start this review. Well, yeah, I have chest hair. But anyway, the crowd was shit tonight, weren't they? The crowd didn't seem to react to anything.
No, and the big problem is, again, the matches we got them announced as the show went on, but even the matches announced didn't excite the crowd, so it was disappointing. And
I think we both quipped to each other during Raw today that not only was it a sort of it lacked entertainment, but it seemed like WWE were really just trying to fill time tonight because they've got 2 Elimination Chamber matches, and we had a 6-pack challenge, so that really eliminated any other chances to showcase the other guys, so they're all in one match. It just seemed like with all the filler on tonight's show that they're really concentrating on WrestleMania and really throwing Elimination Chamber under the bus, which I guess is kind of understandable as WrestleMania is one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. But how much filler did we get in this show? It just seemed like WWE were trying to fill as much time up as they fucking could on this show with filler.
Well, with 2 hours and obviously a pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks, they could have done a lot more than what they did tonight, because tonight really didn't feel like there's a pay-per-view coming up.
Could have really used a Funkasaurus segment today, but instead, Brodus Clay was in a dark match. Well, thank you very much, WWE. We could have used some fun on tonight's show, couldn't we?
There is a certain spot which we'll get to, which Brodus Clay would have been a big help.
We will. We got a 6-pack challenge announced, where the winner would be the last in the Elimination Chamber. We got Daniel Bryan versus Big Show announced as well. We got 2 matches announced before we even started. I just think this: instead of having one massive 6-man match, why not do what they did, which made Raw brilliant, and have maybe 3 singles matches? Maybe switch it around a little bit, maybe have a tag match and a singles match, rather than just a massive 6-pack.
I think, to be honest, yes, this Elimination has different feuds going in, but with 6 wrestlers, you could model them up, mix the feuds up, and have random matches. But the 6-pack challenge, if I would have done this, I would have had this for the last show before the pay-per-view, if anything, not tonight.
Probably, I can understand maybe why they did it, but we'll get more into that later. We opened up tonight's show. Kind of had to, didn't we, after what happened last week, with none other than Triple H. He comes out and says that he was going to fire Johnny Ace last week. And yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I actually wanted Johnny Ace to stay, if I'm honest with you. He was getting quite entertaining for my liking. He basically goes on from that, talks about Undertaker, and when he came out last week, he was not humbled as he was when he sort of was it.
He felt sorry.
Yeah, he felt sorry for him, and he's saying no to Taker's match proposal. But we'll probably still get the match anyway. This is all setting up for a Taker Triple H match that we don't really want to see.
The way Triple H spoke about the match and how he came out the strong one and he felt sorry for Taker, because obviously how weak he looked in the video package that we got, I can see him trying to put himself away from it. But again, it's all ending up because of Taker getting involved at the end of Triple H's speech that they're really going to push and make this match eventually happen.
And what was it? What did you signal to me during this opening segment, NJ? Yeah, because even though it has Triple H in, NJ still thought this segment went on for way too long and did not accomplish near enough what it should have done in the time it got, really, did it? Because
as much as Raw ended with a big thing last week that we needed a follow-on, the things he was saying could have been shortened and got to the point, and then we could have had that Taker thing to add on, but it just went on too long.
Yeah, and as Triple H about to leave, we get the lights going off. We see a video package of Taker in like this room full of TVs and stuff, saying that it's not over and that will not be the image he wants to leave behind. It's just a shame all this is leading to a match that we don't really want to see for the 3rd time, isn't it?
No, the only thing I can think is, obviously, with it being a 3rd match going to happen, I think they should really make it different instead of just a replay of the last year.
So instead of hyping up one segment towards your next pay-per-view, you're going to hype up to the WrestleMania. But okay, I guess I can understand that, WWE. But anyway, we'll move on, shall we? Opener as a whole, just too long.
Triple H, yes. Too long, meh.
Exactly. Big Show versus Daniel Bryan in a match which we've seen, what, 3 or 4 times now already since Daniel Bryan's been champion.
And the thing they added to this match, I'm just going to quickly say, is AJ had to be there, you know, just to add Daniel Bryan some events over Big Show.
I had to get my AJ time on Raw, MJ. I mean, come on. But anyway, now why was AJ needed? It's just that, well, you get in the match, the match goes about 8 minutes. It's not very entertaining. Big Show nearly hits AJ, and then Bryan gets counted out because he's looking after his girlfriend. It really should be my girlfriend, but there we go. Just not interested in this storyline anymore, are we? It's just shit.
Again, for them to replay this match, yes, on SmackDown you had Daniel Bryan talking a lot about Big Show, so bring this match back. The match was stupidly boring, and all I can say now is that the AJ thing is, I don't see why Bryan needs AJ by his side. It was just stupid and horrible to watch.
Should we just move on to the next segment?
Please do.
We had a TV segment full of video packages. Usually when TNA do this, I complain. I'll complain again when WWE do it. Even if it is hyping up WrestleMania. Come on, WWE. We had so much filler in this show. It was just ridiculous. Just saying. Do you want to move on to the next segment?
Please.
David Otunga comes out and tries to save the show by saying that John Laurinaitis should be the GM of Raw.
Such a great boss. Oh, no, he's not.
Let's pray, NJ. I pray to God that David Otunga and John Laurinaitis die.
Then all of a sudden, Sheamus!
Yeah, Sheamus comes out, and this was the spot we thought would be perfect for Brodus Clay, didn't we? We were saying at the time, this would be a great spot for Brodus Clay, but it never happened, of course. Sheamus comes out, because he's not got a program now, because he's just won the Rumble, and he still hasn't got a feud going into the Elimination Chamber.
I find this horrible. Yes, I'm glad Triple H made a match that Otunga was just wasting time. Yeah. But again, Sheamus of all people, it's kind of thinking, you've had Sheamus not infused before the Royal Rumble, and now you're doing it again, and he's in a match with Otunga on a match that is not really going to hype him up to the Elimination Chamber.
Exactly.
And future, I just thought this was just bad.
You've just had him win the Royal Rumble, and now he's in a match against Otunga. This is the one gripe I have about Sheamus winning the Rumble. I love Sheamus winning the Rumble, but that was a good one, MJ. I love Sheamus winning the Rumble, but they're having him in filler, and I really do think they need to have something planned for him at Elimination Chamber, because you need to have your Royal Rumble winner, even if it is like even if it was like last year, like Del Rio Kofi, a meaningless feud like that. Just have him involved in some kind of feud at Elimination Chamber going into WrestleMania, because I don't want him in filler going all the way to WrestleMania. I'm just saying.
Again, I just looked at this, and yes, you got Sheamus appearing on TV. That's a highlight, but it just weren't going to be anything that gives Sheamus a good push or direction towards anything for the pay-per-views.
Yes, the next segment though was a good segment, I thought. Chris Jericho promo segment. This was the our main event. It definitely should have been here. He basically comes out and actually talks. So that's a positive to start with, isn't it? He says that by appearing, he has made everyone backstage look obsolete. He talks about everyone want to be a Chris Jericho wannabe, kind of like NJ wants to be a Terminator wannabe in some of our videos. Just saying, NJ. And he talks about people stealing his ideas, i.e. the best in the world thing from CM Punk.
Yeah, when I was watching this, I was thinking, Jericho, you're rich. You're a HBK wannabe.
He talks about he manipulated and trolled us all because we're all wannabes, of course, because I'm a Cody Rhodes mark. I really want Jericho wannabe. And he talks about he did everything first. CM Punk is nothing more than a Jericho wannabe, and the Jericho is best in the world with no doubt. And he's back to claim what is rightfully his. So pretty much what we expected from Jericho going into this feud with CM Punk. It was still a very good segment, I thought.
Well, with his words, again, yes, he brings up that CM Punk's not the best in the world, and Jericho is. He's mentioning a lot about he's going to take what rightfully his, which is CM Punk's WWE Championship.
And the best in the world.
And the best in the world, which obviously brings out CM Punk.
Yes, and this is where the segment got quite interesting. CM Punk comes out, and just as we've been looking forward to a verbal confrontation between these two for ages, he comes out, holds his WWE Championship up, and trolls Chris Jericho. What a fantastic ending to the segment this was. I thought this was really well done. I enjoyed this segment. Playing Jericho at his own game. CM Punk, go CM Punk, brother.
Well, the thing I like about CM Punk is obviously he got the mic, just stood there ages, doing what Jericho would do in his past, dropped the mic, and then just held up his WWE Championship. And the thing I liked about this, forget about not speaking, when he turned his back, he actually had the guts to turn his back to someone who attacked him last week, and Jericho just stood his place, and again, that added the fact that they're obviously ready to go against each other, but Jericho's holding back. Yeah, so I mean, this is good. This is going to be an interesting feud going into Mania, and this is just helping that as well. Great segment in my opinion. Probably it's by far the segment of the night in my opinion. Was a good segment. The way they did it was very good as well with the whole trolling thing from Punk. So good our main event there. Khali and Orton versus Rhodes and Barrett. You got 4 of the guys involved in Elimination Chamber. I'm not sure why Khali is in there, but you had Khali and Orton stiff tagging each other. I thought that was quite funny. Okay, my first thought about this match is obviously I had a big feeling Faces were going to win because obviously Cody Rhodes and Barrett, they've been built up over these last couple of weeks, got to great places and Orton, but Khali has just returned and he needs something big. But the thing about this is it blows match. Orton obviously takes care of business. Khali comes in, chops Cody Rhodes,
which is his finisher.
That's knocked him out, and I just thought, okay, yes, it's a good spot. He was diving off the rope to do his kick. He does, but I just felt bad when I saw it. I just thought, poor Cody.
As much as I don't like Cody doing the job to Great Khali, I think what we have to appreciate here is the fact that, and I think you quit this as well on Twitter, is the fact that Great Khali is just coming back. He does need to get some wins before he goes into the Elimination Chamber, even though he doesn't deserve to be in there, in my opinion. But like Kofi Kingston last week, they need to give him some kind of win because he hasn't been on TV in ages. So Orton soon got his revenge, RKOing him at the end pointlessly as well.
I guess while Cody's still in the higher mid card and Barrett's going up towards the main event, maybe in fairness, not saying this horribly, maybe it's the right choice to get the pin over Cody instead of Barrett.
I agree, yeah. Barrett's probably a bit higher on the card than Cody Rhodes at the moment. We get a lovely look inside Cena because we've not seen all this before and just don't care about it. We saw it at the pay-per-view, we saw it last week, we probably saw it on SmackDown, and now we're seeing it again, which just adds to the unbearable filler on this show. And WWE's obsession with Twitter is now really getting on my nerves because Rock and Cena are having Twitter wars and we're hearing about it on the TV show. Filler, 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 go away, come again another day.
What I'm going to quickly say is that Cena, of course, hasn't made much appearances tonight.
He didn't make any, did he? Kane and Cena didn't have an in-ring segment tonight, which was kind of needed, really, considering all the filler we had on tonight's show.
True, so I guess we've seen getting these boring packages. Like, he had a backstage one of last week with the car race.
He's going to be opening the NASCAR race or something like that, something that us British fans really don't care about because Formula 1 is still a couple of weeks away, and that's all we can care about, really, in England.
That's true, so I'm thinking with Cena getting these video packages and that, it gives him appearance on the show, but it just was boring and built up time that could have been used elsewhere.
Indeed. We had a Divas match, though, after this. Really great way to follow this filler. With more filler. Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox and Tamina versus the Bellas, Natalya and Beth Phoenix. We saw this match at the pay-per-view. You know, basically, it's a 2-minute Divas match. Tamina pins one of the Bellas. And it kind of looks like the way Beth and Tamina were looking at each other that we might have a Beth and Tamina feud at some point. Maybe going into the Elimination Chamber, which I would be slightly interested in if they did it.
What I'm going to say is that with Beth Phoenix, she stood at the ring smiling because she wasn't the one who screwed the match up for the heels. It was one of the Bellas.
Yeah.
And again,
of course,
she left it to screw up. And obviously, it is teasing that we're probably going to get a feud before it eventually leads to Karma. So it didn't really do much justice to Steve's match. And Beth did not get the win. So again, Tamina's getting this gradual win, so maybe it's going to lead somewhere.
To be honest, do the Divas ever get anything? I mean, I'm just saying that they get like maximum 2 minutes in the ring. And it's just starting to get to the point where I kind of feel sorry for the Divas now because they're just not getting enough time and they can't showcase themselves. And do you know what? We'll move on. Please. The commentators are really too busy talking about Rock and Cena during this, weren't they? And it kind of says a lot about the Divas division that they've got to talk over Rock and Cena when the Divas are there. And Eve got a broken nose as well. We didn't see that in the pre-recorded segment at the end of Raw, did we?
No, but again, with the commentators talking over, I'm thinking they're really bringing up the WrestleMania main event instead of the Elimination Chamber and what's going on in Raw. It just kind of took away what was coming up.
Some good news, though. Shawn Michaels will be here next week. Thank God for that. We need Shawn Michaels here. And we've also got Kane versus Cena in an ambulance match at the Elimination Chamber. Even though they made no live appearance tonight on the show and had no segment, they got an ambulance match at the pay-per-view, which should be interesting. I'm guessing Cena will come on top on that one going into WrestleMania.
True. Shawn Michaels, again, could add to the Triple H and Taker. Yeah. The ambulance match, we saw one great with Shane and Kane. I don't think this one's going to be as good, I don't think, because obviously Kane's character's changed in that, but I'm still thinking that it could have been a last man standing, which we thought through spoilers that it could have been a possibility, but they changed it to an ambulance match. We'll just have to see how it goes. Yes,
notice we're talking about filler here as well, and it looks like that John Laurinaitis' job will be analysed and it will be announced on the internet whether he will be fired or not. I'm sure that was something they should have saved for TV, WWE, but they're kind of announcing it on the website, so I don't know. Whatever. Should we stop talking about filler now and talk about something else?
Yes.
Oh, because before that we got the Undertaker video package that we'd already seen earlier on in the night. Do you get the theme here, guys? We got so much filler. Let's just move on to the main event. Yeah? Six-pack challenge. Punk versus Ziggler versus Kofi versus Miz versus Truth versus Jericho. The winner is the last one out in the Elimination Chamber.
So the match had a good meaning to it, but the thing is, the 6 soon came by.
Yeah, exactly, because R-Truth was taken out from the arena. It's looked to me like Miz didn't catch him on the flip outside, but there's a lot of people saying that he may have failed another wellness policy, and that wouldn't surprise me if I'm honest, considering Evan Bourne has been caught again. But we had that lovely Justin Roberts botch at the beginning where he botched his lines and all that shit. That was kind of funny, but this match to me, it just never seemed to flow. It never seemed to really get out of gear, mainly because there was 6 guys in there. Just really wish they'd have spread these out over the night or something.
The thing is, when it comes to the main event, the big draw of the night, the breaks didn't help.
No.
The fact that the wrestlers were all going all over the place, and it was again, yes, it was expecting a 5-man challenge, let's call it now, but it was a bit too much, and it weren't easy to follow and get entertained by.
It just fell flat for me. I really expected better from this, but anyway, we got that nice tease in the match, that Jericho Punk confrontation, which was quite good. We will be seeing that at WrestleMania, so I look forward to what they're going to do with those two now. And then you get Jericho. Jericho pins Ziggler after Punk does a GTS, and Punk sort of like pulls him out the ring and then pins Ziggler, and he's going to be last in the Elimination Chamber. I think we all expected that. It looks like we'll get the Punk and Jericho showdown at Elimination Chamber. No doubt.
It was a pretty clever way to finish it, because I had my money on Ziggler for some reason, but the fact that we gave it to Jericho in a nice way like that, getting Punk out the way, I thought it was a good way to end it, and a good thing for Jericho for the pay-per-view.
And Jericho mimics Punk after the match, which I again thought was pretty good as well. They're doing that well. They're going to be mimicking each other throughout the whole feud, aren't they, pretty much?
That's true. And what a great way to win. Jericho in the ring with the championship.
Yeah. That was how we ended Raw, was it? Oh, because I think you went out of the room and you missed the little pre-recorded segment they had with Kane and Eve at the end. Why?
As glad as I am to see Kane make an appearance, again, throughout the ending we heard screaming from Eve, and I'm thinking this, again, you could just finish with Jericho, who was the highlight of the main event.
I thought it was the crowd screaming until they pulled off to a shot of Eve badly acting again, but why did they end with this segment? Oh god, you had a great way to end the night, and you ended it with a Kane and Eve segment, which probably could have been recorded during that. The really funny thing about it was, Eve had broken her nose during the show, and her nose was fine during this, and you could tell it was pre-recorded because you didn't see her broken nose.
A cheap way to get Kane on TV. I didn't like it.
What a shit way to end Raw, especially after what happened in that main event with that whole Jericho Punk thing. But anyway, overall thoughts on Raw this weekend, Jay?
Okay.
Road to WrestleMania has started well, hasn't it?
It has indeed. My eyes are looking at the next pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber. Yes, they had the 6-man challenge and the Daniel Bryan and Big Show, but the rest of it didn't add up. Well, and I was just disappointed with this show.
It was, number one, it had a lot of filler. Number two, apart from the Jericho Punk promo segment at the main event, it was quite boring and a lot of it fell flat. It really wasn't that entertaining of a Raw. Some of the segments did their job for hyping the pay-per-view, very minimally in my opinion. But for a live Raw, especially after what happened last week, where we said ourselves the Raw was really, really good in my opinion. And I like the way you did an Antonio Cesaro impression there. Are you watching FCW or something now, NJ?
Now and again, yes.
So overall, this Raw really fell flat in my opinion, apart from one segment. And when only one segment to me is really good, it definitely deserves a D+. I don't know what you guys. Were we the only people bored by Raw this week, apart from that one Jericho Punk segment? I just want to put that out there because some people may think we're being overcritical, but I don't think we are at all.
A D+ for what we're given is a perfect grade, just because I didn't feel that they were really concentrating on what they need to. Yes, WrestleMania, the biggest show, whatever, but you have an Elimination Chamber, you have matches that need to be hyped up and that, and this just didn't give it to it, so I was disappointed.
Well, I don't think they necessarily hyped the matches badly. It was just that they didn't use all the time they had well to hype up other things. It really will be interesting as to what other things they're going to do at the pay-per-view, because at the moment they've already got 3 matches, and the rest of it looks like it's going to be more filler to me.
Yeah, they don't really have much weeks left now until the 1 week.
1 week left. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Get your thoughts on this Raw down in that comment section below, but it wasn't a very good Raw for us. NJ, before we get to the 20-minute mark, do your outro.
People, thank you for tuning in for another Raw review. We've had some good points, not many, and many bad points, but please share your thoughts about the Raw we've had in the comment section below, and please agree or disagree with us. Just let us know what your thoughts are. And that has been it from Mr. Parkin and me and Jay. Be scared, people, and goodbye.